Hey everyone, my name is Debbie Happy Cohen, and I'm the founder of Joy Based Living, where we're helping people empower their joy and making ordinary lives feel extraordinary because you are freaking awesome. Today's topic is how to powerfully boost your intuition. Now, a lot of people like the topic of intuition, especially men, I find have enjoyed this topic because the men usually say, women are so much more intuitive. And I think in some ways that's true. I just did a video on embodiment. Number one way to empower yourself is through embodiment. Embodiment is key to be able to really be powerfully intuitive. Intuition can work with you or against you. Your mind is going to give you whatever you feed it. So, for example, Darth Vader was very intuitive. So intuition can be used for the dark side. It's not just this thing for people of light. Intuition is a skill that we all have. It's a sense that we all have, but it's a skill that we can develop, just like a muscle. So the key to using intuition powerfully is to access a state of fullness inside of you, to generate a state of fullness inside of you. So let me explain what I mean about this through a story. I was on a road trip a few years ago, and it was time for me to pack. And me and my partner at the time, we'd been in this lovely cottage home in New Buffalo in the freezing temperatures in Michigan in this little town. It was so cute. We were there for a few months. And we'd been on like what turned out to be a 3-year road trip around the United States. And so it was time to pack. And my job was the packing. 90% of the stuff was either the dog's or mine. And I found it a challenge, and I liked it. And sometimes I didn't like it. So I'd been avoiding it. And normally my technique was to write lists of things I wanted to make sure that we brought. List. And what goes in different, boxes, compartments, luggage, whatever. Well, I was stuck. That kind of stuck where you just don't do anything. And it got to be like a week before we were leaving, and we had collected all these winter items, and what do we do with them, or where are we going to be next year, that kind of a thing. And it was an adventure. And there was a point where it was like, you need to figure out what you're doing with this because you got to leave in a week. And I called a friend of mine who had lived in a car for not in a car, but she had all of her belongings in her car for 3 years. And she was Buddhist, a practicing Buddhist at the time. And then she ended up marrying a pack rat, which is really funny. But I picked up the phone and I was like, Kathy, I need your help. I am just really stuck. And she said, Debbie, she goes, what you're experiencing is attachment. And I don't know if I said the 4-letter word, I might have, but I was like, no, you did not just say that to me. That is so cliche. I don't even know what to do with that information. I was pissed. And she goes, okay, she said, Debbie, it's lack. And I went, oh my God. Oh, I was like, I got it. I can get off the phone now. Thank you. Got it. Done. Boom. And, there's been this popular lady lately called Marie Cohen. I always forget her name. They call her the Cohen Marie method. She has a popular book about tidying. This was before that. From a place of fullness on the inside, it's going to sound similar, but it wasn't exactly that. From a place of fullness, I created a 3-step process for myself to access my intuition, because my intuition, when it's on, it's very, very sharp. And when it's off, I'm not a happy camper. So this 3-step process went like this. Approach each object from a state of fullness. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need anything. The only thing I need is my dog and my partner. And, I created a space inside of me of the opposite of neediness. You know, a lot of people when they pack, they're like, what am I going to need? What am I going to need? No, I completely cut that out. I was like, I am full. I don't need anything. Now, from this place of fullness on the inside, I actually touched each object and I was like, do I take you? Do I take you? Do I take you? It became almost impersonal. Now there were and then step 2 was, if I didn't know what to do with an object, I would ask myself, touching it, I would say, does this bring me joy? And I remember there was this one suede jacket that was, you know, when you're traveling, it can, you know, you can get a little grungy, and I liked the grunge. It was cool. It was just like relaxed, easy, and, you know, a nice suede jacket really wasn't on my list of things I needed, but it was nice to know I could go out and look nice, and, you know, so I had it for that reason, and it was a maroon thing, and it was pretty. And it was the battle between the mind and the body, because the body's like, yeah, I can get rid of it. The mind is like, oh, but what if you need it? Da, 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 da. Does it bring you joy? Well, I think, I'm not sure. So finally, I just put it in the Goodwill box without letting it go out the door yet. And I let it sit there for a few days. And it was like, okay, that's easy. And I knew I had made the right choice when it was taken to Goodwill, and I felt freedom. I felt ease. Step 3 was envision driving off, feeling really wonderful, and looking back and going, all that stuff is just one of my games I would play is, can I find what I want without in the dark, with just reaching my hand into a box? And it sounds a little crazy, but it was fun. It was a game. So the key for intuition, for boosting intuition powerfully, is to approach your topic, your issue, your challenge from a place of fullness. And I don't mean lying to yourself. I mean changing your mind. Like when my friend Kathy said lack, I was like, oh, got it. Okay, that I switched it. I made a choice. I don't need anything. I need myself. Now, what would self like? And then what happened from that was I chose objects like on a really intuitive level, things that, you know, my intuition was, yeah, I'll probably need this next winter, but it wasn't logic. I could feel it from that place of that larger sense of self that defies logic, that is open to the grander mystery of our lives, that can sense. You know, I'll buy objects. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know why I'm buying this. And I'm very, you can see, artistic and creative. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I got that, because now I have it for this particular craft or project. So I'll repeat the 3 little steps again that I used so you can have them clearly. Number 1, approach your experience from a place of fullness. Your challenge, name the project, the challenge, the topic. Name it. Approach it from a place of fullness. Ask yourself if you have any confusion about whether you want to keep something or do something or say something. Ask yourself, does this particular object bring me joy, or does this path feel joyful to me? It doesn't have to just be objects. This is about intuition. It's about your life path. It's about what do I do for the next step? Well, coming from a place of fullness is going to like totally change the game versus coming from a place of lack. And then step 3 is visualize having the end result like with joy. Like, oh yes, I see us driving off. And I would visualize this same scene. Oh yeah, look at all that stuff. It's all in its right place. One of the ways I do that, like in my work, is some people will ask me about workshops and say, I should bring my husband. I really want my husband to come. No. Let's vision your husband really happy. And then if it's right for him to come, he'll be here. So I'll repeat it one more time. Step 1, approach it from a place of fullness, whatever the topic is. Step 2, ask yourself if you have any question about doing something or saying something. Ask yourself, does this bring me joy? Does it feel joyful? And step 3 is only if 1 and 2 are complete, and done well. You visualize the end result and feeling great about it. So that's all for now, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Joy-Based Living video.